Hello everyone. Today we are going to take class 10th Science NCERT chapter 7 Control and Coordinations topic Coordination in Plants. As we all know, plants do not have sense organs or nervous system, but they can respond to changes in their environment. Plants coordinate their responses against changes in environment with the help of certain chemicals present in them. These chemicals are called plant hormones or phytohormones. In plants, the hormones coordinate their behavior in two ways. Either they affect the growth of plant, due to which plants show movement, or they affect the shape of the plant cells by changing the amount of water in them, that is, their turgor changes, which result in swelling and shrinking. The plant hormones regulate many functions in plants. The various functions in plants which are regulated by plant hormones are germination of seeds or breaking the dormancy of seeds, movement of stomata in leaves, growth of roots, stem or leaves, flowering of plants, ripening of fruits, various kinds of tropisms such as phototropism, geotropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism, thigmotropism, and various nastic movements. There are five main types of plant hormones or phytohormones. These are auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, ethene or ethylene. These hormones can be classified into two groups. The first group is of growth promoters, which include auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, and ethylene. These hormones stimulate the plant growth. Second group is of growth inhibitor, and example is abscisic acid. Abscisic acid inhibit or retard the plant growth. The first hormone which we are going to take is auxins. Naturally occurring auxin is indole 3-acetic acid. Functions of auxins are to promote cell enlargement and cell differentiation in plants, to promote stem and fruit growth, to regulate important plant growth movements, that is tropic movements, to induce parthenocarpy in number of plants. Parthenocarpy is the formation of seedless fruits without fertilization. Second hormone is gibberellins, which is also known by the name of gibberellic acid. Functions of gibberellins are to promote cell enlargement or cell differentiation in plants in the presence of auxins, to promote growth in stems and fruits. Rosette plants, that is plants that shows profuse leaf development but reduced internal growth, shows bolting and flowering when treated with gibberellins. These also induce parthenocarpy in many plants. The next hormone is cytokinins. The function of cytokinins is to promote cell division in plants, to display vital role in the morphogenesis in plants, to help in breaking the dormancy of seeds and buds, to delay the aging in leaves, to promote the opening of stomata, and to promote the fruit growth. Next hormone is ethene or ethylene. The function of ethylene are to promote growth and ripening of fruits, to help in breaking the dormancy in buds and seeds, to stimulate the formation of separation layer, that is abscission zone, in leaves, flowers and fruits, to promote yellowing and senescence of leaves. The functions of next hormone, that is abscisic acid or ABA, are to promote yellowing and senescence of leaves, to promote the dormancy in seeds and buds and thus inhibiting the growth, to promote the closing of stomata and thus leading to wilting of leaves, to promote the falling of leaves, abscission and senescence in leaves. Now we will discuss plant movements. The movement in plant are not as easily visible as in case of animals. Plants show movement at a very slow rate. The higher plants are fixed to substratum by the means of roots, thus they cannot move from one place to another. They show movements of their organs only. Plant movements are classified into two types. These are nastic movements or tropic movements. First we'll take nastic movements. The movement of plant part in response to an external stimulus in which the direction of response is not determined by the direction of stimulus is called nastic movement. These are non-directional induced variation movement that occur due to turgor changes. These show immediate response to a stimulus but do not involve growth. Nastic movements are induced by external stimulus such as light, temperature, and touch. Now, types of nastic movements. The first type of nastic movement is seismonastic movements. These movements occur in response to touch or shock. These are very quick movements. An example of nastic movement in plant caused by touch is provided by sensitive plant Mimosa pudica, which is also known as touch me not plant or chew me plant. If we touch the leaves of this plant with our fingers, then its leaves fold up and droop immediately due to changes in the amount of water in the leaves. Depending on the amount of water in the leaves, it swells or shrinks. As a result, the touch me not plant responds to touch stimulus. This phenomenon is also called thigmonasty. Now, the nyctinastic movements. The movements which involve the diurnal variation in the position of flowers and leaves of many plants in day and night are called nyctinastic movements or sleep movements. These are of following two kinds: photonastic movement or thermonastic movements. Photonastic movement. The non-directional movement of plant part, which is usually petals of flowers or leaves in response to light, is called photonasty. For example, opening and closing of petals of dandelion flowers in response to the intensity of light. Dandelion flower open the petals in bright light during the daytime and close the petals at dusk when it gets dark. Another example is that of moonflower. The petals of moonflower behave exactly opposite to that of dandelion flower in response to light. The petals of moonflower close during the day when there is bright light but open up at night when it is dark and there is no light. Thermonastic movements. If the daily variation in position of plant part, that is flowers and leaves of plants, are caused by change in temperature of the surroundings, then such directional movements are called thermonastic movements. For example, when subjected to a temperature increase, crocus flowers open in few minutes. Now the tropic movements. The movement of plant in response to an external stimulus in which the direction of stimulus determines the direction of response is called tropism or tropic movement. If the growth of movement of a plant part is towards the stimulus, it is called positive tropism. If the growth of movement of a plant part is away from the stimulus, then it is called negative tropism. There are 5 common stimuli in the environment, namely light, gravity, chemicals, water, and touch. These 5 stimuli give 5 types of tropisms, that is phototropism, geotropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism, and thigmotropism. The first kind of tropic movement is phototropism. Its stimulus is light. The movement of plant part in response to light is called phototropism or phototropic movement. If the plant part moves towards light, it is called positive phototropism. Example, movement of shoot of plant towards light. Plant stem respond to light and bend towards light by the action of auxin hormone. On the other hand, if the plant part moves away from the light, it is called negative phototropism. For example, the movement of roots is away from the light and it is an example of negative phototropism. The next type of tropic movement is geotropism. Here the stimulus is gravity. The movement of plant part in response to gravity is called geotropism or geotropic movement. If a plant moves in the direction of gravity, it is called positive geotropism. On the other hand, if the plant part move against the direction of gravity, it is negative geotropism. The next tropic movement is chemotropism. Here, the stimulus is chemical. The movement of plant part in response to a chemical stimulus is called chemotropism or chemotropic movement. If the plant part shows movement towards chemical, it is called positive tropism or positive chemotropism. On the other hand, if the plant part shows movement towards away from the chemical, then it is called negative chemotropism. For example, the growth of pollen tube towards the ovule during the process of fertilization in flower. The ripe stigma of carpel of the flower secretes a sugary substance, that is a chemical, into the style towards the ovary. The pollen grains respond to this sugary substance by growing respective tubes. The next tropism is hydrotropism. Here the stimulus is water. The movement of plant part in response to water is called hydrotropism or hydrotropic movement. For example, the roots of plant always go towards water, so roots are positively hydrotropic. The next type of tropic movement is thigmotropic movement. Here the stimulus is touch. The directional growth movement of a plant part in response to the touch of an object is called thigmotropism or thigmotropic movement. For example, tendrils of plants like bitter gourd, bottle gourd, grapevine and passion flower are positively thigmotropic and make these plants to climb up by winding around. This is all about coordination of plants. Thank you.